Insights with Terri Apr, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Apr. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Apr. Thanks for joining me today to explore together April the 5th through the 12th, 2026. It's been a while since I've posted something, so I hope to get back in the saddle with Charlie O'Brien's encouragement, and we'll see where this leads us. Now, let's do the planets first, and then I pulled quite a few cards for all of us, asking the universe to please give us some indication as to what we need to think, feel, how we have tools that we can deal with some of the things that are going on, because they're quite profound. So there's it's quite a bit of information, but I'm going to keep it as short as possible, as concise as possible. So on Monday of this week, which would be the 6th, I think, April the 6th, we have the moon in Sagittarius, and that rules the liver, the hips, the thighs, the sacrum, kidneys. So what we want to look at here is vulnerable parts. So that can indicate some parts of our body that could act up a bit. So you may have a cranky hip, or the thigh muscles may be a little bit screamy, or the lower part of your back. So just talk to your body, be good with it. Try to make friends with it. It's not your enemy. It's not trying to hurt you. And then on Thursday, the 9th, the moon moves into Capricorn, and that's all of our joints. That's our knees, our wrists, our fingers. So if you have inflammation, it's going to be particularly difficult. You can look ahead to something like that and maybe look at anti-inflammatory foods, stay away from inflammatory foods, maybe not overeat so you accumulate toxins that increase inflammation, but it could be a sore time for some of us, our joints. And then on the 11th, on Saturday, that's in Aquarius, and that's the lower extremities, which could be our ankles, our wrists, all the lower extremities. So this is with some of the way that planets are moving, it could be an easier time to twist a leg. Just be careful. Hold on to the railings, kids. Now, we had a full moon on April the 2nd. We still have some of the effects of it, and that was in Libra, and that is supposed to help us look at how do we increase community, how do we look around at each other as people, and not isolate because of the pressure with animals when they've done experiments, and they stress them in these lab experiments. They tend to isolate or find dark corners and stay in and not venture out. And I know that it feels like that would be nice to do, but what we have to do is do a little bit of it so we can recuperate, but also look at what can I do to maybe help somebody, or look around, how can I reach out or get back into the light, so to speak. So we're being offered that energy of partnership, wanting peace, wanting harmony, and how can we start to move towards that and move in that direction. Then we're looking forward to a new moon, which is new behaviors, new thinking, new characteristics, and that will be in Aries. Now that's a two-headed snake there. Aries is the god of war in Greek mythology, can be very passionate energy type of experience. So on the negative side, war, which we have a belly full right now, and all the consequences thereof. But we can also melt that down to being at war with ourselves, at war with our own thinking, at war with our family, our friends, the world. And that's not where, or immigrants, that's not where we need to be. That's not where we're supposed to be. The positive side of that coin is direction and passion. And how do we direct that passion? Do we direct it in anger, which is the red planet? Or do we take that red and make it useful and take that passion and maybe help somebody or help build a barn like we used to, or help get out in the field and take all that energy and redirect it in a way that's helpful? So we have gardens right now, right? So some people are out there prematurely planting seeds and getting things ready, getting the compost flipped over. Maybe we can take that energy and use it to a positive end, and not the negative end of war and crankiness. Let's not get cranky. So kind of an overview here. The sun is in Aries, which is war, right? And passion. How are we going to direct that? Mercury, how we think, how we communicate, is in Pisces, which is very intuitive, very psychic, can be very compassionate, but also can be a little airheaded in that we get our head in the clouds and we're not grounding ourselves as efficiently as we need to. And then when you take that angry energy, it can spiral out of control. And then Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and wonder, is in Taurus, and that's strong energy, that's determined energy. So we can find a goal, make a plan, and determinedly move towards it. And then Mars, the planet of passion and drive, right now, as I speak to you, is in Pisces, which is a water sign. So fire and water don't necessarily like each other. Fire can burn off water, which can, dry up. Water can put out fire, which can extinguish. But if we balance it, we can have steam, which is powerful. So the whole key to success right now is that Libra energy that we still have in the full moon, which is balance. Libra is balance, and that's where we need to look at. Now, Mars is going to go into Aries on the 10th of this week. So that energy field is something that we need to look at as far as how do I direct this passion? Where do I focus my energy? You're going to find it with your dogs, your geese, your turkeys. When they erupt in anger, they're going to erupt really good in anger. When they feel like it's something that is something they should get in behind. So this is maybe where we find where we can dedicate our energy. It can be volunteer, it could be help the neighbor, it could be save a squirrel. However you want to redirect that energy into a positive vibration. Now, the cards, and I'm going to do this really quickly, hopefully. We had almost all major cards. I really spent time trying to ask the universe to please give us some guidance, give us some information, help us understand what's going on. So I'm just going to be honest with everybody. The first card that came up is the card of death. Now, that doesn't mean that we're all going to die. It means that there will be some loss. But I think in the context of the positioning of the cards, what I'm going to take from it is rebirth, major transformation. And aren't we all going through it? Look at the New World Order. It's here, whether we like it or not. It's never going back to the way it was in a minute. It has to evolve now. So we are under, and the universe wants us to understand this, under necessary. This is necessary and profound change. Now, I don't like change, and a lot of people don't like change. Some people do like change. Some animals do, some animals don't. But if we can embrace it and look for the positive, it can affect us very differently than the other way around. It can be liberation. And it can also herald the dawning of new relationships, a new era in this. And it's terrifying because we're used to what was, but we have to leave the past behind. The way of thinking, the way it was. We have to embrace the end of a cycle and the start of a new one. And we can make this new one really good. So we're entering a new way of life. And how amazing is it that it's at springtime, which is a new way of life. New leaves, new life, new baby ducklings, new baby chicks, new everything. So we're entering the death of our old self so that we can be empowered in rebirth and renewal to embrace that. I think it feels sudden to me. It wasn't, but sudden, inevitable change. And that triggers transition, cleansing, purging, revitalization if we'll embrace it, stripping away the worthless parts of what doesn't matter in our lives. Looking at what doesn't matter, what does matter. That's liberating. Liberation through purging, burning off. Do I grieve the loss? Yes, I do. I grieve the loss of the former lifestyle, going over to the States, enjoying some of the new restaurants that were a little bit new, going into stores that had different things that we couldn't get over here. But everything ends, even those beautiful trees out in my bush that are maybe 150, 200 years old. Wind comes, takes a whole half side of the willow tree, and inevitably, it's changed. But now, 10 years later, it's reshaped and glorious because it could take its energy and put it where it needs to in the new part of the tree. So it's a change of status. So what we see during this time is sometimes as humans, we redirect. We redirect this anger, this fear towards marriage. That can end up in divorce. Maybe we need to be divorced. Maybe we need to look at our relationships. How better can it serve me, or can I serve it? Some people start a job, they leave a job, they leave home, they relocate. End of relationships, beginnings of new relationships. Loss of virginity, which means just something you haven't experienced before. I'm not getting all weird on you. So when we look at a new experience that we've never done, this is virginity. So maybe we're supposed to be going into this virgin territory of thinking and not having experienced it and being innocent and trying it all new. That can be spiritual regeneration and the shedding of very outmoded attitudes towards anything. Think about your life. Look at globally, the attitude towards immigrants. Immigrants built the countries. We're all immigrants. If we're in North America, we weren't, our families weren't born here unless you're Native American. We immigrated here. Why we're redirecting, that's a whole story in itself. I won't even go there. Sorry. So we're supposed to shed some of the very outmoded attitudes that we have, like animals don't have feelings, animals don't have emotions, fish don't feel, they're not self-aware. That's not true, and that's not coming from hugging trees. That's not. There's so much more than what we realize in our arrogance as human beings. So basically, that's kind of a reincarnation that we're going through. A brand new experience if we embrace it. So this is the energy field that we are being offered right now, and try to embrace and learn and grow and love and spread all of that around. Now, there's a million other things that I want to talk about, but I'm not, because I don't want this to go on forever, and this is just a little shorty. So I hope that you all have a wonderful week. Embrace the unconditional love that you can get and give. Embrace the transition that is being offered us, even though it feels weird. Connect to our guides and the universe. Help that channel. Be open and willing to be their servant, to be their little earth angel, to work with other people. Please, please, please look at your health. Right now, with all these changes, health issues are going to be almost on top of everybody. They don't have to be big, just little, but let's look at our health and try to make it better, and be very, very careful of what isn't true. You know in your heart, we all do what's right and what's wrong, and we don't need anybody to tell us what is right and what is wrong. We know, we are given that as a species. And don't override that and allow for the wrong to become more common than the right. And that's what we're being guided to do. Okay, kids, have a wonderful week. Hopefully we can get together the following week. Thank you, Charlie, for the nudge. I appreciate that. If you would like a reading for yourself or any help with your animals, I'd be happy to do that. 519-726-6699. You can text or call. Or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com. And don't forget Charlie's radio station. He streams live. It's the Big 8. So that's the big number 8 radio.com. And it's all the oldies. It just brings you back in time and makes you feel so good. It's the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, all the oldies. So if you want to feel good, just put that on in the background and enjoy yourself. Thanks, Charlie. Thanks, everybody, for taking your time. Have a wonderful week. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.